is a nation surrounded by oceans, and this vast maritime domain is one of our most precious natural resources. But as fish stocks are highly sought after around the globe, there is a greater need to defend our borders from foreign poachers.
Looks like there's 3 people on board.
Australia's Maritime Border Command within the Australian Border Force patrol 24/7 on the ground and the air to protect this national commodity.
Can we come aboard?
Monitoring of these assets is conducted from here, the NBC Operations Centre in Canberra. Today, a potential maritime threat has been spotted in Australia's northern waters.
One of our aircraft that's conducting aerial surveillance on the east coast of Australia has just located what they believe is a suspected Vietnamese foreign fishing vessel inside Australian waters.
The suspected illegal fishing boat is in the highly protected area near the Great Barrier Reef. Border Force patrol boat Cape Wessel is dispatched from Cairns, tasked with the job of locating and intercepting it, led by Commanding Officer Charlie.
All right, well, as you all know, we're on the way to this Vietnamese boat. When we get on scene, I'd like to do the boarding as soon as we possibly can. It's my understanding that their MO generally is to fish at night and to rest up during the day, so hopefully we can get them a little bit unawares.
Charlie, 10 miles to run.
10 miles to run. Let's have 20 knots, please, mate. The aircraft had transmitted to us that the vessel didn't have any radar, so I knew that once we were in 10 miles, the element of surprise was gone. I ramped the speed up and I tried to get as close to them as quickly as possible so that that element of surprise could be utilised.
Officers from the Australian Fisheries Management Authority, or AFMA, will inspect the catch on the fishing boat and determine if any offence has been committed. And everyone is on high alert as cameras on the ship's mast finally bring the vessel into view.
Yep, got him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
7.15 nautical miles from our position now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people counted so far.
The boarding crew prepares for launch, and as the Border Force patrol boat moves closer, the fishermen see them approaching and begin to throw their catch overboard.
Throwing them out, overboard, whatever was in there, gone, all of it, gone.
This is usually a pretty good indication to us that they're onto us, that they know we're coming, but if we're capturing that footage on the camera, we can use that to support our case.
This is Australian Border Force Cape Wessel. We intend to board your vessel. Stop your vessel now.
Yeah, they've slowed down. They haven't stopped yet though.
Depleted fish stocks in Asia due to overfishing and demand for higher value species prompts illegal fishers to enter Australia's northern waters. Australia's fisheries are among the best managed in the world and are a target for poachers. The boarding crew must be prepared for anything as they head over to inspect the catch.
When the boarding officer initially embarks the target vessel, his primary concern is to make the vessel safe for the rest of the boarding party to embark. This means he will muster the crew in the forward part of the boat, and this allows the rest of the boarding party to embark and begin to make safe the vessel.
13 fishermen are located below deck, while an AFMA fisheries officer begins to inspect the many barrels on board. And it looks like he has found a huge haul of illegal catch. And the entire operation has been closely monitored by officers at the Australian Maritime Border Operations Centre in Canberra.
So the boarding team from Cape Wessel has in fact boarded this vessel. We've established it is Vietnamese in origin. There's 13 illegal foreign fishermen on board. When the vessel arrived, there was divers in the water, including compressors going, which shows that they have in fact been taking illegal catch from our waters.
Inspection of the many barrels on board reveals the men were diving for sea cucumbers, or bêche de mer. Considered to be a luxury seafood in Asia, there is a constant demand for these, especially from China.
Quite a high value tree bang. You can see how it's been split. They're all split and then salted and put into brine for their trip home. Once they get home, they'll be dried and processed further, and then they'll be ready to be sold.
Depending on the species, a sea cucumber can fetch up to $500 a kilo, and these huge returns mean that foreign fishermen will go to any lengths to obtain them.
the rewards for these people are huge. So you can understand why they might be tempted to come to Australian waters and take our fish.
But with high returns comes high risk, and these 13 illegal fishermen may now be facing hefty penalties and the confiscation and deconstruction of their vessel. Australian Border Force and AFMA fisheries officers have identified barrels full of catch on board this Vietnamese fishing vessel. It's been illegally taken from Australian waters near the Great Barrier Reef, and it includes many sea cucumber species. Estimating there is a massive 3 tonnes of illegal catch on board, it would have been a highly lucrative journey, but these foreign fishermen won't be making any money from this trip.
Once we determined how much catch was on board, given that the catch had come out of the sea only a few days before and was stowed in salt, there was no threat to the environment. So we were directed by AFMA, the Australian Fish Management Authority in Canberra, to dispose of the catch. This we did by returning it to the sea.
The 3 tonnes of catch is disposed of, but the journey is just beginning for the 13 illegal fishers. They are detained and transferred to Cape Wessel, where they will remain in a holding area until they reach Cairns to face prosecution under Australian law.
Australia has those strong fisheries laws, but you can't have a strong conservation regime without a strong compliance regime. We're very keen to see Australian fisheries protected and sustainable into the future, and with a strong compliance regime we can all have that.
So what we're now going to do is secure that vessel for the purpose of bringing that into an Australian port and handing that to AFMA for prosecution.
Once they reach port, the fishermen will spend 6 weeks in a Darwin detention facility, along with men from 2 other illegal fishing boats also caught in Australia's northern waters. Following a court appearance, some of them will be returned home.
The 34 fishermen that are departing today have all appeared in the courts in Darwin. Their matters have all been finalised and they're being flown back to Vietnam today.
These 34 men are relieved to be going home, as the others are not so lucky.
Some of the people have been imprisoned because they had suspended sentences, because it was not their first time that they'd been picked up for illegal foreign fishing.